Welcome to Coffee with Viking. I am Mike. Cheers. The Boy Prophet, Jeremiah 1:6. O sovereign Lord, I said I can't speak for you. I'm too young. Jeremiah starts his book by reporting that he tried to talk God out of turning him into a prophet. Jeremiah has good reason for trying to get out of this divine appointment. Prophecy at this moment in history is a thankless job. Prophets deliver mostly bad news. News like this: the bodies of my people will be food for the vultures. I will put the end to the happy singing and laughter in the streets of Jerusalem. The land will lie in complete desolation. And that's in Jeremiah 7:33 and 34. People hate prophets for talking like that, and people running the country hate it even more because it sends the signal that they're doing a lousy job. Jeremiah isn't the only Bible prophet who has tried to get out of the job. Moses tried too. He said he wasn't a good speaker. Jonah tried as well, but instead of arguing with God, he simply ran away. And we all know what happened with Jonah. It's one of the biggest children's Bible stories too. He boarded a ship sailing in the opposite direction he was supposed to go, but a fish caught him and tossed him back. Jeremiah's excuse is that he's too young. He never says how young, but the Hebrew word that describes him is often translated as boy or child. He may have been just a teenager, perhaps as young as 13. That's the age of which Jewish tradition says boys can start accepting religious responsibilities. Whatever his age, he loses the debate. Of course, when we debate God, we're always on the losing side. God always wins. He is, after all, arguing with God. Appearing in a vision, God says he created Jeremiah for this job. Before you were born, I set you apart and appointed you as my prophet to the nations. And that was Jeremiah 1:5. Don't say I'm too young, God tells the boy. Go wherever I send you and say whatever I tell you, and don't be afraid of the people. For I will be with you, and I will protect you. I, the Lord, have spoken. And that's Jeremiah 1:7-8. And the thing is, God has a plan for each and every one of us. And whatever that plan is, just know that God will be there with you, no matter how afraid you are. He will be your strength and your guidance and your comforter. He will give you the words to speak when it needs to be done. And when it comes to being called by God to do a job, as Jeremiah learned, age don't matter. If he called you to do something, if he called you to deliver a message, or to help somebody out. Don't matter how young you are, how old you are, and God will strengthen you. And the thing with Jeremiah is, he's actually one of my favorite prophets, and I'm actually glad he lost the debate with God, which it was an obvious lose. I mean, it was God. His book, the book of Jeremiah, is an incredible book, and it's the one we're hitting next. And I actually can't think of any book in the Bible I don't like, I love them all. but Jeremiah is probably one of my top favorites. And just keep in mind that if God's called you to do something, you're going to wind up doing it anyway. It don't matter how long it takes. I mean, like they brought up with Jonah, God actually sent a giant fish to swallow him but not consume him. And he stayed in that belly of the fish until he finally prayed and told God he would go where he needs to go. And Moses, like me, I'm not the best speaker either, but God told him, your brother Aaron will speak for you. And the thing is, the first 5 books of the Bible, which were written by Moses, I think the man learned how to become a really good speaker. So when it comes to arguing with God that I'm not good at this or I'm not good at that, God will give you the ability to do what he needs you to do, what he wants you to do, what he called you to do. So just trust in the Lord. Don't argue with him, which we're all guilty of. But it's never good to argue a losing battle. It's just a waste of breath and energy, especially when God's going to give us the energy we need to do the job. Just put your trust and faith in him, and he will lead you through it. Stay blessed. Stay caffeinated. And stand strong with the Lord and trust in him. Much love.